everyone. This is my first time, actually. I'm Steve Lucas. I'm from SAP. Our logo's blue, so this is a little weird. Even the stage is red. They thought of everything. Isn't that clever? So I was getting ready. You know you're at a Red Hat conference, and this is literally the only way that you know. And just let me preface this with, I'm running on 4 hours of sleep because my flight got in at 2-something from Denver, so this is going to be really fun this morning. You know you're at a Red Hat conference when they put the microphone on and then they're like, now, and you never, rule number 3 of presenting, never turn your back to the audience, but I have to show you this. They made me wear a backup mic. Only Red Hat does that. Only Red Hat. That's like disaster recovery, fault tolerance, wear 2 mics, and I'm like, what if that mic goes out? And then the guy goes, and here's the 3rd backup one. I'm like, we're totally at a Red Hat conference. I'm good. That's awesome. Way to go, Red Hat. Now I feel like Batman presenting to you with my utility belt. You're probably wondering, like, why is this guy from SAP? Why is he not in a suit? And why has he not tried to sell me something yet? Now, the third point I will get to. I promise. People up there, I'll sell you something. So I want to talk about SAP and open source and Red Hat and what we're doing. And I'm not here, by the way, to announce that we've open sourced our ERP platform or anything, so everybody calm down. I know it's like that tense moment. Is he going to do it? No. So I do want to talk about the concept of simple. And this is a really big theme for us and SAP as well as Red Hat. Partly because, if you think about SAP, the first thing that you think is, and these are kind of, interchangeable terms, either, big German or German big, either one, works. So big German software company, been around a while. What are they doing to innovate? Why are they talking to us in open source? But the reality is that Red Hat and SAP have had a great relationship together over many, many years. In fact, well over a decade. I'm going to talk about that. But one of the things that we have in common is a belief that in the enterprise today, that things have gotten, we'll just say, a little out of hand in terms of the complexity, whether that's behind a cloud application or on-premise, whatever that may be. Things have gotten a little too complex. And if we're going to move into the world of digital business and enable the enterprise organizations that we help support and drive, we have to help them simplify. And so SAP is really focused on how can we simplify our business applications and what we do to help you simplify your organizations and be better at what you do. So what we do, first and foremost, is we help your business run simple. And I know that's weird. It's SAP. How is that simple? I'm going to get to that in a minute. But we do. We help your business run simple. Now, the question, of course, is, well, how do we do it? And I'm going to see if I can operate this clicker. There we go. How do we do it? And I believe, now this is the, if you don't like this, I apologize, but I put a lot of thought into this, so I think you should like it just to make me feel better. I thought about this a lot. What does SAP do at the end of the day? What do we do? Besides, our logo with the little pointy thing that looks like that crawler in the Star Wars movie, what do we do? I believe that at our core, we help companies solve the toughest problems in the world, the toughest challenges, in the simplest manner possible. And it's interesting because sometimes, and I'm going to poke a little fun at our competitors, because Salesforce.com, they're not sponsoring this event, so I don't care. We don't approach the world with a CRM solution and go, we know that you need to extract oil from this area of the world. Use CRM. That's not our approach. Our approach is that we sit down with companies and we help them solve the world's toughest challenges in the simplest manner possible. What I believe at my core is that SAP doesn't back down from a challenge. Sometimes that means that we have to take on really tough things. But here's the cool thing. Most of the time, if not half the time, we're building that on top of the Red Hat stack. We really are. And that's the cool thing. That's part of the reason we're here. Now, how do we, or with what technology do we do this? What is SAP? Because SAP has evolved dramatically. If I were here 7 years ago, 6 years ago, you would have said SAP is an ERP company. But just a side note for SAP, less than half of our revenue actually comes from our apps now. Most of our revenue actually comes from our platform business, specifically SAP Hana, our database technologies, which plug into many of the, we have OpenShift cartridges. We're going to talk about that. I keep thinking about Atari cartridges when I say that. But our next generation enterprise platform, which I'm about to talk about in a minute, SAP Hana, as well as what I believe to be the best business apps in the cloud, and a connected global network. Those are really the three areas of SAP. Granted, we've spent a little bit of money, circa $25 billion over the last 7 years, to expand the company. We've acquired companies like Sybase and Ariba and SuccessFactors and Concur and many more, but we've also innovated organically with technologies like HANA. And there's a story as a lead up to a Red Hat, this kind of slide of SAP's history, where when, and I know this is horrible to say, but this is just, since it's a red carpet, I feel like bearing my soul today. So when we first came out with SAP HANA, we didn't support Red Hat. Didn't support it. And it was interesting because, so I've been in charge of the sales, marketing, pricing, packaging, blah, blah, blah for HANA since we launched it, and I'll tell you about how amazing it is in a few minutes because that's coming. But the number one requested thing that we got was not a feature for the product. It was support for Red Hat. The first people that came knocking on our doors were our largest financial services companies who spend a few dollars with us every year, and they said, and they kind of they whispered, and everyone from financial services companies, they all talk softly, because I don't know if it's like there's secrets over there, but they all come up and they're like, hey man, here's the deal. We're not gonna buy anything from you unless you support Red Hat. And I was like, okay. So clearly that was a driver and a motivator for us to do that. I'd like to say that it was all just, arm in arm, Red Hat skipping down. Money was involved. So that was part of it. But if you look at the decade of innovation that we have, and you can see here, we're in the midst of doing some really great things, from Red Hat Enterprise Linux being the first Linux to support running the SAP platform, all the way up, and you can look at the timeline to things that we're doing today, like, for example, our support of OpenShift and some of the other interesting things that we're doing with technologies like our Sybase, ASE, IQ, and SQL Anywhere database products. So we continue to innovate with Red Hat. It's a great partnership, and I want to emphasize, the Red Hat platform is the fastest growing platform for our core product, SAP HANA, on the market today. So we're very excited about that. And the reality, we're very excited, and thank you, Red Hat. Now, there's no time. Oh, there is a timer up here. Okay. I always feel like I'm watching an episode of 24 when I'm up on stage. So it's running down. Something's going to explode. So Red Hat probably has a backup plan. I want to talk for a minute about what I hear kind of every time I meet with a CEO, a CIO, a CFO. It's kind of this repetitive theme that I hear. I even hear it from my own boss here at SAP. He's one of the managing board members of the company. It's this sentence that starts with, hey, you need to reduce cost, but you still need to innovate, because we have everybody showing up at work now with all of these different phones and stuff. They're bringing their own devices that we have to support. This isn't 1995 where everyone has the exact same compact laptop with the little roll bar and the trackball, and we were excited about that. It's not 95. It's not standard. It's the world actually, from a device standpoint, as you know, has just become unbelievably varied. And so not only do we have to reduce cost, but we have to innovate on more platforms. It's Android phones and Apple phones and the random person, no offense, Microsoft, with a Windows phone. That's weird. And then the BlackBerry holdouts who are like, you'll take my QWERTY keyboard out of my cold dead fingers. Right? And then if you look at it, so we got 1.3 billion of the world's workforce now mobile. 82% of companies are going to have IoT applications. All this stuff going on. So we are at odds with one another. Our strategic objectives for the company: reduce cost, but do more. Well, if you're going to do that, you got to simplify. You've got to look to technologies like the Red Hat Linux, or Enterprise Linux platform at a minimum. You have to look at technologies like SAP Hana at a minimum. These are incredibly important things. Now, I believe firmly that open source, okay, I'm working theory number 1 here to stay. But working theory number 2, beyond open source isn't going anywhere, is I look at different flavors, forms of, I was thinking about this and looking at different flavors and forms of open source communities and companies, etc. And it's amazing to me when I look at these logos to think, what would the world be like if we didn't have these? What would it be like? And it's incredible to me to think about the impact that open source has had. Now, just as a side note, so this is where Steve establishes SAP open source street cred. So we are contributing to over 100 open source projects ourselves. There's all kinds of exciting things you'll find out there on GitHub. Our OpenUI 5, for example, is a brand new user interface that we've put across all of our products. Open sourced, available. We have partners of ours that are actually using it to build front-end applications on their products as well. So we love that. We're excited about it, and we're going to continue to focus on that. And if you look at what we do, so this is just one more quick comment, everything from how we use open source at the core of many of our products, how we contribute, interoperate, and innovate. This is something that SAP, we've beyond poked our eyeballs over the ledge of open source and clearly are involved in this in a big, big way. I will tell you the truth, if it wasn't for companies like Red Hat, I doubt we would do nearly as much as we do. So again, I think it's hats off to Red Hat for doing that as well. Now, I do want to talk about this before we bring out the man with the movie star name here that's a guest of mine today. He really does have an amazing name. It's really cool. I'll tell you it in a minute. There is this belief, and this belief is something that is at the core of what SAP does today. Our founder, Hasso Plattner, 7 or 8 years ago, had this epiphanic moment. The moment was, and think about what SAP has done for the last 40 years. What do? We build business apps that help companies solve really tough problems. That's what we do. We build business apps. Many of you in here build apps too. But here was the epiphany that we had as we were using other companies' software like, and I'll just a few mentionables, but Microsoft, Oracle, IBM. So we were using those technologies. No offense, they're great. Yay for you. But here's what we found when we were building business apps. If we wanted to build, let's say, an online retail app, well, we would need to be able to have a website. Okay, fine, we can do that. You can find that somewhere in the LAMP stack, no big deal. So we'll build a website, but then we need a database to store that data, right? You buy something, we store the data. But the moment that a business user, and it's always the business users that cause the problems because they ask questions like profitability. So they come in and they ask a question which is, well, that's cool, now we know how much we sold today, but how much did we sell last year? Now the traditional legacy vendor's response to that is, oh, that's a totally different database than the one you just bought from me. That one, even though the code's identical, is called a data warehouse. So you're going to need another one. So now we've paid for the transactional system and the data warehouse and/or /data mart, which is just a slightly less expensive version of the data warehouse. And today we've renamed it Data Lake so they can charge more. And so we have all these things, and it's effectively the same code. And here's when the problem starts. We start copying the same data. We go, oh, well, to answer the question of what I sold today, you need this database. To answer the question of what you sold yesterday, you'll need the same database and a copy of the data. And then the worst thing is the business user comes back in and says, how much might I sell next year? And you're like, oh, for crying out loud. Then Oracle will show up and say, you need another database, which is exactly the same as this one, but it's for forecasting. And now it's called predictive because it's twice as expensive, right? So there it is. And it's the same data. It's the same. It's the same system, it's the same data, it's slightly different math and a slightly different schema. And this starts to go crazy. This is the beginning of craziness because now what's the solution? The solution isn't, we should figure out how to just kind of have one copy of the data. The solution is, no, man, we got all these data management tools that'll just copy it all over the place. And that's not the answer. And that was the epiphany that we had. The epiphany was a belief that we could change our stars, we could change the future. And so we designed a system called SAP Hana. And what Hana is effectively is a new type of database platform. And that new type of database platform allows you to store any kind of data in any shape you want one time. If you want to use it as a transactional system to store transactions in real time, you can do that. We actually eliminated disk from Hana's architecture. Hana is a 100% in memory. 100% in memory. I'm not talking about solid state disk. I'm talking about volatile memory, volatile in a good way. So 100% in memory database platform that is so fast that we were able to allow it to act as a transactional system, a warehouse system, and a predictive platform all at the same time. So everything that we do at SAP, from our new open platform, SAP HANA, to all of the business applications that we build today, which are all built on HANA, to our connected network, Ariba and Concur, all work together, all on SAP HANA. Why? Why do this? So the next time your inventory level is low at your company, a human doesn't have to run over here and go, that looks low. Let me press the reorder button. We can actually have HANA, as it is intelligent, go out to the Ariba network, which is a supplier network with over 400,000 suppliers, kind of like a cool version of eBay, just awesomer. And it can reorder that technology. It could even, or that product, it could even look for better taxes, better shipping rates, better terms that fit your bill of materials, reorder it automatically, boom, bring it into your company. That's what SAP HANA is. And now we've taken a version of SAP's HANA database platform and put it in the cloud in a multi-tenant structure called the HANA Cloud Platform, hcp.sap.com. And HANA Cloud Platform allows you to, any developer, if you're a Java developer, you're about to love this, you may actually weep. You can literally go to hcp.sap.com, sign up for a free account, forever free, and build any app on top of any SAP product, and you don't need to know anything except Java and learn our API. And that's exactly what we're driving today. So we're really excited about that. And HANA really is at the core of everything we do. And just to tell you a little bit about that, we thought, like, what is the coolest freaking company that we have that is using HANA and Red Hat Enterprise Linux and a much broader Red Hat platform? The person we found, so we thought, okay, Peavey is super cool because they make guitars, number one. And then number two, the even cooler thing, this man's name is Courtland Gray. Courtland Gray. Literally, you show up for an interview, you say, my name's Courtland Gray. They won't ask any other questions. They'll just hire you. I'm Steve. They'll be like, show me your resume. So I'd like to introduce and welcome to the stage Red Hat and SAP's fantastic customer, the Chief Operating Officer, COO of Peavey, Courtland Gray. Courtland, welcome.
Howdy.
How are you?
Right. A composite acoustic guitar made in Meridian, Mississippi.
A composite acoustic. That is beautiful. And where is it made?
Meridian, Mississippi.
Now, we were backstage earlier, and I was playing. I said, what if the theme for our demo today was free falling? Like, what if we did that? Anyway, you know, we tried. I play a little. Okay, so this is amazing. Now, this is signed by
Signed by Hartley Peavey, who founded the company in 1965.
Oh, now, just as a side note, a couple of these are actually being given away at this event. Is that right?
Yes, there'll be one at the SAP booth and NEC booth as well.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so a fight's going to break out later. So, real quick, I know that Peavey has, and we were talking about this backstage, operations all over the world. Missouri, China, you name it. And you just got back from
I've been in Asia for 2 weeks and just got back yesterday, so I'm a little
Excellent.
tired.
So it's like 3 a.m. for you.
I don't know what time
so
it is.
There's
what
3
day
of me.
it is.
Talk to the one in the middle.
This one,
Talk
yeah.
to the one in the middle. Okay. So tell me about exactly. Whoa, Steve.
A little woozy.
Yeah. So tell me about, why Peavey looked, kind of at Red Hat on the one hand and SAP and specifically HANA on the other hand. What was the situation from your point of view?
Well, it was time for an upgrade. We had a database that was, data warehouse system was pretty slow and cumbersome to get information out of. So our partner 3V Solutions, which is our SAP VAR, had suggested SAP Hana and a Red Hat solution, and it's been a wonderful change for us.
Excellent. And I know that you moved off a competitor's platform and moved, amongst other things, to SAP Hana. Mm-hmm. We'll spare the name, even though I could talk. It was right there in the speaker notes. We won't. We'll lighten up on them a little bit this morning. But the goal was, I assume, improve overall speed, performance, responsiveness to the business. Was that the goal?
Yeah, we really needed to get more information quicker and faster. I mean, it would be 30 minutes to run a report sometimes, and occasionally you might have to call the IT department to kill a report because your computer locked up. So we needed to get more information out, get it to the users and decision makers, and just expand it to our distributors around the world as well. So, I mean, they need to get information from us faster as well. I was in France earlier this year before we made the conversion, and was trying to get them on our system, and so they could pull some information from us, and it was very painful. The French liked it because they could click on it and start a report, and then they could go off for a 2-hour lunch, and then it would just about be ready when they got back.
I think the phrase is laissez-faire for that. I'm not sure, but
they didn't mind it so much. But I think most other parts of the world they want faster speed.
So faster's better, and so now you've moved to the Red Hat Enterprise platform. You've got SAP HANA running on top of that. What's the outcome?
Just improved speed and better communications. We can get real-time information now, and because you can get the information so much faster, quicker, it just encourages you to go in the system even more, to pull more information out because it's not painful to get.
So user adoption's gone up because you've gone from 2 hours to instant. Right. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Ruining French people's lunch everywhere.
Got to get in the real world.
That's right.
Efficient times now.
So we've gone from slow responsiveness, multiple hours to get content, to Red Hat platform, SAP HANA on top of that, real-time reports, real-time analytics, part of Peavey.
Yeah, and NEC was involved with Red Hat, and they did some good things for the system. It's got some redundancy and very cost-effective.
Well, excellent. So we're kind of like 2 microphones, fault-tolerant at this point now.
We got it covered.
Excellent. Yeah. So, Courtland, I want to thank you for coming out. Thank you for showing us this beautiful, amazing composite acoustic. It is beautiful and sounds beautiful. But more importantly, on behalf of Red Hat, our partners, and SAP as well, I want to thank you for being an amazing and inspirational customer. Thank you so much.
Glad to be a part of it.
Thank you
for your help.
Courtland Gray, everyone.
Good.
So, just as we wrap up here, I've thought a lot about this, and I've been so excited to just be part of this amazing event. This is truly a great group of people. I'm inspired by the great customers, and Courtland and what he's done with Peavey is just truly unbelievable. Here's what I'd like to leave you with today. I know that amongst many things that Red Hat and SAP share in common, there's one belief. That core belief is that we can, as I said earlier, simplify the enterprise. We can do that. Because at the end of the day, whether it's you or me or the CEO or somebody in the top floor or someone on the shop floor, we want everyone to be able to run their business from one of these. That's where the world's going. That's it in a nutshell. And we know we can do it. We can do it together with you. We can do it together with Red Hat. We will get there. I'm so excited about the future. I'm excited about the great partnership that we have together with Red Hat. And I want to thank you all for being great partners, great customers. I look forward to speaking with you. Have a fantastic rest of the conference. Thank you very much.